Welcome to Little Creek Bee Ranch. A little bit different lesson today. This is a tabletop lesson. It's kind of windy, but I want to be kind of quick about it. I get a lot of calls or questions about how to find eggs. That's a challenge that a lot of beekeepers, particularly newer beekeepers, have, and how to find the queen. So I want to give you some tips today that can quickly clear up how to find eggs. I've got my little Rode mic on. No bees are going to jump my mic today. It's just kind of windy, so we have the whiskers on. Okay, so if we want to find eggs, there's a couple of concerns. We want to be quick about it. We don't want to dilly-dally around for trucks to go by. The wind, the air will dry out. It will dry out the eggs and the larvae too quickly. So when we pull up a frame, we don't want to sit here for 10 or 15 minutes trying to mess around how to find the eggs. So when we want to know about a queen, we really want to look for evidence of a queen. It's easier to find the evidence of a queen or lack of a queen. No eggs or eggs, but you got to be able to find the eggs quickly. Within 10 seconds, you got to be able to find the eggs. So you want to shake the bees off. Anytime we shake bees off, we need to go diagonal from corner to corner, and you'll get 2 shakes. If I go this way, bees will splash over. If I go long ways, bees will splash over the end. So we want to be diagonal. Get 2 shakes. That will clear the frame. I need a magnifying glass. A magnifying glass. And here's a trick to doing this. We want to take the magnifying glass and we want to hold it right to our eye. We don't come off our eyebrow. We want to hold it right to our eye. We're going to take the corner of the frame and tuck it high in our tummy up here. High in our tummy. We're going to take the magnifying glass and keep it on your eyebrow and then roll the frame in and out. You move the frame, you don't move the magnifying glass. It stays on your eyebrow like a jeweler's loop. So the magnifying glass comes to your eyebrow, get the frame and you roll it in. Or you could turn it this way, still goes in your bread basket up top. Magnifying glass to the frame, and quickly you can see eggs in there quickly. Or if you have laying workers, you'll see double, triple, or more eggs per cell. But you want the magnifying glass to stay on your eye, actually touching your eyebrow. The frame goes in your tummy, and you're going to roll the frame up in there. We've got somebody target shooting way back in the back next door to us. Okay, so the key is a good magnifying glass, touching your eyebrow, corner of the frame goes into your tummy, and you roll it up, and you can see those areas. Now, when you do this, it's really wise if you'll turn away a couple of steps away from the bees and get the sun to your back. You're going to take this magnifying glass and on your veil, you're going to press your veil to your face. Well, that's going to expose your nose and eyebrow. So we don't want bees tagging our nose. We don't want that. So it goes to your eyebrow, to your high chest, and roll it in and out. Boom, just that fast. You want to be able to find eggs that fast. Now, what I try to do is I go to the outer edges of the frame, where the queen's laying in a circular pattern, and I'm going to look for eggs on the outer edges out here. Really simple. You want to dislodge the bees, 2 hands, shake the bees, 1, 2. I go to the outside corner. Magnifying glass comes up, I go right to my breastbone, and I can look. Done. That fast. You need to find eggs that fast. It's real important to do that. You can go to the drugstore. Typically drugstores have some pretty good magnifying glasses, whether it's a circular one or rectangular. But something of note, those little tiny ones don't work so well. I would get something that's easy to handle in your gloves. It's going to get kind of sticky and nucky. Right to your eyebrow, and it doesn't move, only the frame moves. That's a real important tip. Okay, so let's say you want to find the queen. Now here are some tips and tricks to find the queen that will alleviate all this anxiety. Too many times new beekeepers feel like I have to find the queen. Well, why? What's What's your purpose for trying to find? Just to see her? No, no, no. I don't teach that. We don't buy that. Now, if we want to replace her, or maybe she's a bad genetics, or we think she's a weak queen, okay, then we have a purpose, a reason to go find her. Any other time, I'm pulling up a frame to look for evidence of a queen, magnifying glass, eggs, and I'm done. But if we actually have to find the queen, now here are some tips to remember. If you can see on the video, there's quadrants. We've marked some marks on the box here, quadrants. You just use my mind and mark the box into 3 quadrants, or quadrant 1, 2, and 3, however it's marked. I will separate in my mind quadrants, and I will look at the porch. I'll come to the side, I'll stand to the side, and I will look at the porch to see what area, what quadrant is the majority of the pollen coming in. The majority, provided we have a wide open porch. So let's say the majority of the pollen is coming in. Well, pollen is tied to feeding eggs and larvae. That's the only reason for the pollen, protein to build the larvae. So the pollen is tied to eggs and larvae. The queen lays out the eggs. So we associate the pollen with where the queen is. Wherever the majority of the pollen is coming in, this is the quadrant that the queen will likely be laying in. So if I think it's quadrant 1, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to spread the frames, and I'm going to pull what I call a cutoff frame. This is a deep box. I just have mediums for teaching purposes. So we pull a cutoff frame. Now I'm going to now cutoff frame so she can't run against me, because she knows we're probably looking for her, and they get fidgety like squirrels, and they do run. They like to move around. So I'm going to look real carefully with my eyes. I'm going to go once around. Let's just do this. Watch this. So let's say this is my cutoff frame. I pull the cutoff frame, and I'm going to use my eyes. I'm going to look once around the frame real slow, twice around the frame real slow, and then in the middle real slow. No queen. She's long. She's about as long as your pinky, and she'll be porpoising over her daughter. She's pretty long. I'll turn it over and do the same thing again. Once around, real slow, twice around, then in the middle, once around, twice around. Normally, I find them just holding the frame at a sharp angle, 30 degrees like that, and I'll see her, oh, there she is, porpoising across. So you can hold the frame at an angle, turn it over, hold the frame at a sharp angle, and look really carefully. Sometimes you'll have her tucked in the corner. But this is the cutoff frame. So once we've cleared the cutoff frame, we'll just set it to the side, carefully set it to the side. Now we're going to work from the frame that was just adjacent to the cutoff frame to the wall. We're going to work to the wall. So I'm going to pull this one, and I'm going to inspect the frame same way. Once around, twice around. I can look long ways. I can go over once around, and I mean slow, twice around. This is not fast. Long ways. Nope, not there. Now, what I'm doing on purpose is working her over this way. As I work these frames, now don't cheat the system. Don't just jump over here. Just let her work to the wall. Look at this frame. Once around, twice in the middle. Long look, long sharp angle. Turn it over. Once around, twice around. In the middle, twice around. Long, sharp, 30 degrees. It doesn't work at 40, 30. You can look down it. Not there. Again, I'm working her against the wall. This is where I saw the pollen coming in. Once around, twice in the middle. A long look down the frame, or this way if you want to. I like long ways. Boom. Same again. Once around, twice in the middle. A long look. It takes longer than I'm showing you here. Now, my bet is she's on this frame. But you can't cheat and jump across because we aren't certain of where she is. More times than not, she's just going to scoot, and she can't go any further than this. So once I pull this truck, it was quiet earlier. So once I pull this frame out, I like to go to the wall and just have a look. I'm holding the frame up out of the way. Just look real quickly. Should be a cluster of bees over here. Once around, twice in the middle. Long look. Oh, there she is. And usually she's on the side that's next to the wall. That's usually where she is. So these are easy tips. We don't teach marking queens. It's just too risky marking queens. What a lot of students do, they don't understand. They'll take the pen and they've maybe pinned down a queen or caught her, and they're going to take the actual marking pen and then touch her with a pen. No, that's an error. We never touch a pen to a queen. That's not how this is done. We take the pen to our paint palette. The flat part of our thumb on our glove is our paint palette. If you think you absolutely have to mark a queen, take your pen, shake it, it's got a recessed tip, just touch your palette. That's your paint palette. Touch the palette right there, and then get a piece of grass or a little tiny stick, piece of grass, blade of grass is fine, and just touch the paint and then touch the queen. And you won't ever hurt the queen or discharge more paint than you have to. It's only limited by what is on the little stick or the grass. You just touch your paint palette and touch the queen and whatever contraption you use to hold it. We used to do it a long time ago. Damaged queens, too much paint. Bees supersede queens. It's just not something I'm going to go teach. But I tell you about it so that you know about the paint palette. That's your paint palette. So, all right, so that's important. Never touch the pen to the queen. It's more important that you understand how to divide the quadrants, look for the pollen coming in, and then pull your cutoff frame and work your way against the wall, and you'll find a queen. Not a problem. But more than that, I say 9 out of 10 times, the questions coming to me as a bee coach and bee teacher are, how do I find the eggs? That's all the time. I hear that question all the time. I like to come out here to frame 3 or 7. If you look at a beehive inside the brood chamber, it's set up a certain way. Frame 1 and 10 are typically all honey. Those are insulation walls and deep pantry walls. 1 and 10 are all honey. Frame 2 and 9 are typically honey and pollen. Again, a little bit more insulation and some food pantry. The insides will be heavy pollen. And then frame 3 to 7 typically is all brood. So that's typically all brood right there where my fingers are. I say brood. Brood with ribbons of pollen and honey around it. Now that's pretty normal. Sometimes I find brood 1 to 10. That's a pretty aggressive queen, laying pretty aggressive. And you better get a box on top of her. Or in August, September, we have a honey binding issue, and maybe we only have a palm-sized patch of brood right here on these 2 frames, and then this is all honey, and we got to get that honey out and spin it, because this is summertime bees we're dealing with, and we want to open up and get honey out so the queen can lay wintertime bees. And that strategy is not taught near enough. We have a lot of colonies that die in February because they've been honey bound, and these are summertime bees that aren't going to last past December and January. So late August, we're into pulling brood honey and spinning, opening the nest up so she can lay some wintertime bees. All those strategies have to do with being able to find eggs quickly, pull the frame up, shake it diagonally twice. That magnifying glass goes right to your eye, goes right on your eyebrow, goes right in your tummy, and you move the frame until you can see it. You never move the magnifying glass. It stays just like that. And if you will go practice that, I think you'll have a whole lot more success in finding eggs quickly. We don't want that material to dry out. You want to find them quickly. If you like what we teach and how we teach sustainable beekeeping, you might look at the Personal Advisor Program. It's a coaching service we offer to students across the country. Yes, we do teach students in other states because bees don't know state borders, state county lines. Bees just operate by principles. The environments may be a little different, but the bees operate by principles. You also might look at the ebook library. We continue to write more ebooks about key topics in beekeeping. helping people understand how we particularly keep bees in a sustainable manner, and working on your bee IQ. That's why we film so much. That's why we teach and write so much, is get the learning curve down and get the bee IQ up. Okay. Magnifying glass at a drugstore, on the eyebrow, right to your eyebrow. I expect you to find eggs 15 seconds. We even time students in the apiary. You got 15 seconds to find the eggs. Have a great day.